Okay. Good evening. Good evening, BFF. Okay, naku, ito na. At,
Wala ang mukha ko, BFF. Hindi ko makita.
hang on.
Ayan. Oh,
There.
wow!
Uh,
Nasaan ka ngayon?
uh, I made it to
Sa
Boracay.
Boracay?
Yes,
Wow!
my background there in Boracay. You can see that. Good evening, Joe. It's nice to be back again sa
I
mga
know. Good evening to
natin,
BFF.
mga
Kumusta ang
kaibigan
kulay
natin.
natin dyan sa Boracay?
Yes, that's right. So, ang maganda rito sa Boracay is they're actually offering 50% discount. Wow,
Wow!
just to encourage
Oh,
everyone, encourage yung mga local and foreign tourist na pumunta rito. So, buti natunugan natin at medyo lumusot nga lang tayo para makapunta rito. So, by this weekend, mga Saturday, babalik na naman tayo dyan. Okay, but anyway, it's nice
wow.
to be
Ang galing.
nice. That's right. Nice to be back. Nice to be back, and welcome back. This is our second edition. So our BFF Lifestyle. Right? You notice we tweak our name a little bit. BFF Lifestyles with Joe and Fred. Did you
Okay.
like that?
Yes, I like that
That's
very
right. Yeah, that's
much.
right. Because lifestyle, this show is about lifestyle. Ayan. So
Yes,
that's good.
good.
So how was your trip to Sydney, BFF?
Ah, it was really good. Very busy, hectic ang schedule. So, ang daming meetings and events. I had two events. I attended two events.
Meetings and eatings. Huh?
Yeah, meetings and eating. So,
I know. Kit-
walang pahinga. No.
Kitang-kita sa Facebook postings mo.
Oo nga eh. Even though kahit pagod na sige, smile pa rin.
Of course, that's what you call
Oo.
uh, pleasure and business.
Business and
Not
pleasure. Yes,
not
that's right.
business with pleasure, huh? Pleasure
Yeah,
and
pleasure and
business.
yeah, that's right.
That's it.
It always comes together talaga sa akin. I don't just go for like yung iba dyan na, like well, you should just go out, just have coffee. And I said, you know what? I use of my time very wisely. So when I go out for coffee, I make sure that I make business. So
Oh, of course, that's
kaya
right.
ganun talaga. Because, time
How
is
many
very,
days? How many days were you there?
3 days lang ako doon, oo.
Okay.
3 days lang. Kasi may ka-meeting din naman ako kasi we're going to have a project in January. So hopefully matutuloy yun. At of course, matutuloy yung project namin sa January. Yung kaibigan ko na si Vicky, she's the one of the multicultural leaders doon sa Sydney. So she's going to have her fashion show in January. So the Marquis will be covering the event of course.
Wow.
And guess what?
What?
I'm going to showcase my fashion.
Oh, congratulations. So is
Yeah.
that going to be on weekends in Sydney?
Yes, on the 23rd of January. You're invited if if you would like to come.
We'll work it out. But definitely
So
we'll get it. We'll get it covered. Huh?
23rd of January, that's Saturday, and
Saturday.
consists of 28 multicultural.
Wow.
28, yes. So and I'll be
guess-
walking in the runway showing off
Yep.
some of my fashion.
The ones. Are you designing clothes?
Yes. I'm designing some of the dresses. And also my friend Augie as well. She'll be also showcasing her accessories and her fashions as well. So she's one of the So that's what we're
Okay.
in January.
How long have you been doing that designing clothes?
It's actually just a habit for me, just only for myself. Like when I go to events, it's not that I'm selling it. So it's just like a hobby.
Oh, okay. Just
And then
just your passion Passion
Yes,
for
that's
uh,
passion
passion
for fashion.
passion for fashion. Ha?
That's right,
Talaga,
that's
there you
right.
go. Kaya
And then
talagang
my friend,
bagay-bagay ka. May
yeah,
bago
and then
kang
my
title ngayon. May bagong
ano,
title, the Lifestyle Queen of Melbourne. Ha?
oh my God,
How's that?
wag naman sobra, sobra. No, 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 no. Madaming mga ano diyan. Wag na.
marami
Okay
marami
lang.
mamahal yan, marami maiinggit diyan. Nako.
No,
Wow,
wag
wow,
na,
wow,
wag na.
wow. Oh, well,
Wag na yang ganyan.
wag na. O sige, tayo na.
Oo.
Ito lang naman sa ating sa show lang natin, of course,
Yeah,
no.
oh. Okay,
Oo,
okay. Okay na
Lifestyle
rin
Queen
yun.
of Melbourne, yung tawagan lang natin. Ako naman si Barangay Chairman
Barangay chairman. That's good. That's good, BFF.
That's good.
So,
So
okay,
that
ano?
that means that you're gonna be away for a week before the date of the passion event, or
Yeah, I think I will be away for a week at least because apart from the fashion show we're doing, we're going to do also a lot of few projects as well para sa marquees namin. So we'll be doing
okay.
a lot of photo shoots as well there in Sydney. So I'll be away for a week. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. So yeah, we'll try to work out our. We'll have probably a pre-recorded show. So we'll work out when we can record one show for our lifestyle show, and then if you're away on a Monday, then we can show it. So there shouldn't be a problem with that. So we're very much flexible. And what about here in Melbourne? So anong mga lifestyle news in Melbourne? Joe,
Um,
heard there is a lot of Filipino restaurant going up.
oh, is there another new one
Oh
in
yeah, there
Chibuga?
is another new one. It's
Which
it's
one is
all
that?
over the news. Huh? It's on Philippine Times, and they hit the news on Herald Sun
Oh, what is
yesterday.
called? What is called?
It's called Chibog or
Chibog.
Chibog.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's right. Have you heard
Wow.
of it?
Chibog. I've heard of it, but I've
Yes,
never
that's
been
right.
there yet.
It's
So yeah,
um, it's a
we've,
very
we've
trendy
mm.
Filipino restaurant. So they serve Filipino foods, but with a difference. So
We
we
should
got to
go.
really try it.
We should go there one day, BFF. We should try
Not not
their
not one day, BFF. Our
very soon.
board of directors,
Yes.
which you are one of that. That's the ACME. We're going
Mm-hmm.
to have our end of the year party, end of the year
Okay.
dinner.
So
Okay,
yeah.
so
So
it's already on your invite. It's in your invitation. So
okay.
just
I'll
stick it.
have a look.
Have a
Yeah.
look at it.
Yes.
And
Yes.
also, Filipino Barbecue House is going strong.
Oh, good. Good.
Very
Good.
well.
Good. Oh, ang
And
galing.
also,
Oh.
Balay,
Lalo
Balay.
na ngayon Christmas, 'di
Yeah,
ba? So
that's
madaming mga
right.
parties, madaming
Mhm.
hold ng mga Christmas lunch or
Oh
just
yeah, that's
gatherings
right.
with friends.
So
So
I think people will be happy even if they cannot really go to a big event. Small events here and there.
yeah.
Just this morning, I was in Brimbank Park covering the senior citizens.
Mm.
Senior citizens. Oh, yan na lang ang kino-cover ko, BFF Joe. Buti ka pa mga passionistas ang kino-cover mo sa Sydney. Ako mga senior citizens ang kino-coveran ko. Uh, we got we got to support the senior citizens. And
Yeah,
they're
of
very
course.
happy to be on camera, and
Yeah,
ipapalabas natin sa Sunday yan. So they were very
oo,
happy to
that's good.
go
Oo.
out after so many months of lockdown.
Lockdown.
So
Yeah,
they were
yeah.
able to
Oo,
go
oo.
out.
Oo. Masaya
And,
yan, masaya. Masaya yung ginagawa mo kasi mga senior citizen nakakatuwa yan sila.
yeah, that's right.
So daming mga experiences in life na
Oh
i-share
yeah,
nila.
that's
So
right.
mas maganda yan.
And we're listening to their experiences, BFF, but at the same time, they're also learning from us new technology like
Mm.
Facebook.
Oh yeah, yes, yes.
Oh,
Oo,
yes.
oo, oo.
Sabi ko, you're in the right place. The king of Facebook is here.
Good, good on you, good on you. Buti naman may mga cellphone sila na may mga Facebook kasi yung ibang mga mga kababayan natin na mga matatanda, they
Oh
still
yeah,
You
Yeah.
know, they don't have those high-tech na mga cellphone, yung mga ano pa, siguro mga
Well,
51.
some of them doesn't really want to, doesn't have the patience anymore to learn. But
Yeah.
there are those who are still enthusiastic when it
Mhm.
comes to learning new technology. Meron pa
That's
nga
good.
gustong magkaroon ng laptop eh.
Wow.
Merong yung iba, happy na sila sa smartphones,
Oo,
happy na
oo,
sila
oo.
sa tablet.
Mm,
But
mm.
there are those who are taking it seriously and they want to, have a real PC
Wow.
laptop. So that is the one of the projects of our community group, which is led by the Australian Filipino Nurses Association of Victoria.
Oh,
So
I
they
see.
are in good hands. At
That's good.
yung
Oo.
mga volunteers are many of the volunteers are nurses or
Mhm,
training to be nurses or personal care workers.
mhm.
So masaya naman kasi
That's
alam mo,
good.
yeah, we have our community has got the largest number of senior citizen.
Wow, ang
Uh,
Filipino community
yeah,
natin.
per
Wow.
per ca- per ano yan ha, relative to the size of our community.
Mm.
Yep,
Wow.
because alam mo, tradition nating mga Pilipino once na nakarating na si nakarating na yung yung isang family, the next one will be another brothers or sister. Pag nandito
Yeah.
na lahat, pag nandito na lahat, di yung nanay at tatay naman or
Mm.
vice versa. Pagka nakarating na yung pinaka eldest, kukunin niya yung parents, then the
Mm.
parents will bring in the other younger siblings. So
Oo nga eh.
that is the beauty of our what family orientation. We're a family orientated group that which is good.
Which is good,
So
yes. Ganun
yeah,
talaga natin. Culture natin yan eh.
culture natin 'yan. Oo. That's
Mm.
right. So but yung being passionistas is also part of our culture. Ah,
Yeah, oo, talaga.
Filipino women loves to
Passion.
dress.
Passion to
Huh?
dress
Love
up.
to
Yeah,
dress. You can
ganun.
see that.
Oo.
So
Oo.
I think it's there's nothing wrong with that because we're our society is highly westernized. Huh?
Mm.
With
That's right.
after all our Western role models, Americans, Hispanics,
Spanish, yeah, yeah.
English, yep,
Oo.
Australians. So you are no in the right you are in the right area, BFF, at matulungan mo sila maging passionistas yung mga dabarkads natin na mga ano natin diyan, mga
Oo
BFFs
naman.
natin na mga ladies.
Oo. Eh, magagaling din naman yung iba. So, hindi ko naman sabihin na akong pinakamagaling sa lahat.
Oh,
At
of
least
course.
I tried my best. So, but
Yeah,
like I'm always happy to show some ideas, ganun.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
um, yeah,
But
and
the good thing with that is because you're not only creating design, you're also promoting them and showcasing them. So
yes,
mga
yes, that's true.
Melbourne,
Oo.
Sydney.
Mm.
So later on maybe Brisbane, later on Perth, and then after that Manila na.
Yeah, we will see. We will see. So, well, I'll give it this try first in
Of
January
course.
and see how it go. And we'll
Yeah.
see. Yeah.
So who's helping you? Who's helping you from Melbourne? You have any group that help you, or any sidekicks and things like that? Mga
I'm actually sa Melbourne kasi nga magka-cover din kami doon ng ng events. Yung sa Marquis sa Marquis group ko. So si
okay, the
Natasha
Marquis.
yung si Natasha yung namin yung editor-in-chief namin. So she will be coming with me and some of the crew, film at saka yung photographer namin. So yeah, yung sa Marquis crew ko na group ang doon. So
Oh, good.
but
That's good.
yung sa kababayan natin everyone are welcome to to attend the event.
Okay.
So para manood.
Is there any group in Sydney that's helping you to organize this?
Um,
Any community group?
Actually, because this is my friend's Vicky's event, so I think yeah, she's very ano na, okay na siya. She's very organized sa lahat ng ano niya for the event nga sa January.
Oh, no.
And then sa Sydney naman, madami naman akong contact din, madami din naman akong friends. So if I need any help, yeah, andyan lang naman sila. So nothing to worry. Everything is
Nothing
in
to worry.
control.
Everything will be fine. So um,
Yeah.
I think what we're going to do now, BFF, is let's introduce. Have you printed
Yeah,
your Q&A?
I've
That's
yes,
good.
I've just printed it. I haven't read it yet, so I don't know. We'll see.
Look, we'll
I
see.
just
You'll anyway. We'll take turns in getting these gentlemen guest of ours direct our questions and lead him to answer these questions. So, but in the meantime, okay, let's give him a fanfare. Huh? Let's give him a fanfare. Okay, okay. Uh,
Simple lang naman ang aking pangarap. Ang talo ay padat maglango sa kanila. Nais ko lang na may makita kang nakangiti. Ang makapiling ka sa bawat sandali. Lahat ay gagawin, lahat ay susundin. Lahat haharapin, lahat ay kakayanin. Lilipat ako para lang sa'yo. Lilipat ako sa dulo ng buto. Ang tanong ko'y para lang sa'yo. Dahil ang totoo, ikaw ang superhero. Lahat magagawa, hindi ako matatalo. Hindi manangamba basta ikaw ang nasa puso ko. Kahit na mahirap, kahit na ako ay mali, ikaw ay tutulungan kahit buhay ko ang kamalit. Lahat ay gagawin, lahat ay susundin. Lahat haharapin, lahat ay kakayanin. Lilipat ako para lang sa'yo. Lilipat ako sa dulo ng mundo. Ang lahat ng to'y para lang
Okay, superhero. Makisig. Ayan, dahil ang guest natin BFF is tunay na superhero natin dito sa Filipino community, ha? So, ayan. So, ang guest natin ngayon at buti pinagbigyan tayo ng kaibigan natin na ito ay one of the one of those becoming very very in demand when it comes to travel and tourism. Of course, I'm talking about just before the pandemic, COVID-19. And we're going to talk to him tonight on the what happened during the pandemic to the travel industry, what's the road ahead for the travel industry once everything gets back to the new normal. But also we'd like to introduce him to the local Filipino community. Dahil alam mo, marami tayong mga dabarkads at mga kabarangay ngayon who's only been here in Melbourne for in the last 5 years, right? So relatively they're very new, and some of them hasn't even planned to go back for their first balikbayan. Unlike ikaw BFF na halos buwan-buwan ka nasa Cebu or nasa Manila or before the pandemic, ha? Nung magka-pandemic, napirmi ka dito sa Melbourne.
Yeah.
So it must have been
stranded.
It must have been very, 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 very shocking for you. But nevertheless, you were able to cope with it by creating something, creating some other hobbies like dining.
Yes.
Of course. And of course, I'm referring to none other than the guy who established the travel agency called My Travel Solution. All right. So let's welcome BFF, our friend, and that sometimes the talk of the town and also present in all social events. Mr. Chris Centeno. Ayan,
Hello,
Chris.
Hello.
Right uli. Meron na yan. Pre-ticket na ako niyan.
Hello, Chris. Musta? How are you?
Thank you. I'm very much humbled, to have been invited by, Kafred, and of course, Miss Joanne Smith for your show. And of course, sa inyong mga tigapakinig, to all listeners, good evening po sa inyong lahat.
Chris,
Yes.
fans, do you have a headset or earpiece para mas maganda? Pero kung wala talaga, okay lang.
I don't actually.
Okay. That's okay.
I see.
Nag-echo ng konti, but that we can manage with that. That's okay. Basta
Okay.
maintindihan ng ating mga listeners. So, have you actually personally met Joe Smith, Johanna? I'm sure.
Oh, of course. I've actually met me a lot of times.
I'll bet my bottom dollar you two have met each other.
Of course.
I find that only a dollar question. She's worth $1 billion.
Oh, no.
What was that? So Joanna is always here, there, and everywhere, huh?
Oh, yes. She's priceless.
Nakakapagod na eh.
And you have 7 months of 7 months of break and rest. So you're not allowed to go out. You've been quarantined and isolated for 7 months. So I think you're raring to go out and socialize.
Oh, yes.
So,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
So Chris,
Yes.
greet our listeners and viewers. First time na makikita kanila dito sa aming munting programa ng Barangay, Radyo Barangay.
Again, I am very much humbled. And of course, flabbergasted to have had the invite yesterday from Kafred. He called me to be a guest, and I immediately said yes. And of course, now I'm more honored to say that I saw Miss Joanna's face. Yeah. And of course, sa inyong mga tagapakinig, once again, good evening to each and every one of you, and I hope everyone is keeping safe, healthy, and well throughout all this ordeal.
That's great. That's great. So, mahaba-haba itong ating listahan ng mga tatanong sa iyo, Chris. So we might as well make a start. Ladies first, Joe. Would you
Okay,
like to make a start on section A? Section
let's
A.
keep it. Let's keep the camera rolling.
Yep.
Okay.
Camera rolling.
So yeah, Chris Centino, unang tanong. Who is Chris Centino? O, diba? Ganon yun ang mga question. Alam ko, Centino eh.
Yeah,
So, first, who is Chris Centino?
well, Crisanteno is Crisanteno, from the humble beginning to the humble now and humble forever. So, I maintain my persona as me, nothing will change. Regardless of what you have or what not have in life, just be yourself. And that's a very important, essential investment as a person.
That's true. Oo.
Mm.
So, yeah. Birthplace, yung background in the Philippines. So,
Yeah.
anong ano natin sa Philippines, saan ano ka? Saan yung birthplace mo, education at saka where you were working or career mo dati before you migrate dito sa Australia, what was your life before in
Yes.
Philippines?
Yeah, I was born in Manila, but I grew up in Pangasinan. So both my parents are from Pangasinan. That's where I finished my high school, elementary and high school. And like my other siblings, we all went back to Manila to finish off our university. I have done my bachelor's degree in psychology at Far Eastern University.
Mhm.
Right? And mainly after that course, I just volunteered. One of which is the mental hospital in Mandaluyong. So, but after that, like other Filipinos, we tend to expedite, and envision our future. Once in the Philippines, what do you think your life will be? So the only way to escape and progress with life is, of course, to travel overseas. And given the opportunity to come to Australia, I pretty much gambled. I mean, no family and no friends at that time. But it's an experience that I will never forget because it was
Sorry, excuse me, Chris. How long was that? When was that?
that
When?
was in 1998.
1998.
Yeah,
Okay.
1998. I can remember exactly when I first arrived in Australia. That was the 22nd of July, 1998 at 9:30 a.m. Flying Qantas Air.
Wow.
At the time, huh?
Ang galing.
That's good. Very memorable time and date. Huh?
Oh yes, yep. So yeah, I mean that was my humble beginnings here in Australia, and yeah, and I'm happy, naman, that I did the right decision for my life.
Okay. So when you moved to Australia, what what motivates you to migrate to Australia? Ano bang na naiisip mo na why do you have to come to Australia?
I mean, first and foremost, like other Filipinos, we've done our degrees back home, but up to where can we achieve certain achievements in life? Just working in the Philippines. I know a lot of people who's finished their degrees back home, but nurse or other courses, but they ended up at call centers or whatnot. I mean, I was a very motivated person to achieve something in life,
That's good. Yes.
and I've envisioned that, right? And I missioned myself to achieve those goals. So I was so determined to reach something in life, ika nga. But of course, why I made that objective in my life is because I belong to a very poor family back home.
Mhm.
Ang number one intention natin, karamihan naman tayo mga Pilipino, is, to sacrifice, work overseas, and to at the same time help our family back home. And that's what I did, and that was my intention. So, yeah.
Oh. So by that time, were just you come alone, or you were with your family or your siblings?
Came the opportunity dito sa Australia as well. Dalawa kami dumating dito actually at that time. We were invited by a family, a friend at that time, and para magturo ng ballroom dancing
Mm.
time. Yes, and I thought, you know what, that was a good opportunity to take, and that's what I took. And and from there, I just progress along, learn from the past, and
Yeah.
keep on progressing along every day, each time.
Oo, that's good, that's good. So yung first job mo dito and challenges na na-face mo during those times, and earlier network of friends and colleagues. So sino yung mga naging friends mo dito, na unang naging friends mo dito nakilala?
Yes, I was very happy at the time, and I was so fortunate that I managed to build good rapport straight away with some Filipinos as soon as I get into get sa Melbourne, Australia. Namely, you've got Ina's Filipino shop at the time. Um, and then that's where I actually built my network and start meeting some people until yeah, and then every month, every year, I keep on collecting friends, approving friends, and that was the best thing that ever happened in my life when I first came to Australia.
That's good. You're very friendly, so easy to get along with everyone. Kaya nga ang dami mong fans club eh. So, diba? You're very famous. So,
Just being ourselves, and
yeah, that's true talaga. Just be yourself lang talaga. So, yeah, and saan na ba si BFF? BFF, I'm still gonna go through with this? Okay.
But you
So,
know, but you know what really, hindi mo na tanong or maybe what really made Chris popular is he's a trained dance instructor. Yeah, that's what he did in the Philippines, and
ah,
during his initial foray into the Melbourne community, I remember him as the one who's teaching all these dance moves and everything.
yeah,
So
yeah, sayaw
dyan
tayo
na naging
modern.
well-known ang
Yeah, I
Chris
see.
Centeno. All
Oh.
right. So
So
up, but up to
yeah,
now.
have you ever joined yung mga dance sport before sa atin?
No, not actually. I mean, it was basically a hobby, and it became a career, so to speak. It was a good exercise, but the full history of it is, I mean, we will be here for hours if I discuss the full history of it. But to put the story short with that, I was very ill as a child in the Philippines back home.
Oh, okay.
At a very young age, I was suffering from hypertension.
Yeah, yeah.
And yep, I did everything, but it didn't work. And ballroom did, dancing did, and that's basically what killed me, and that's what motivated me more. And it was a talent that I didn't even realize I did have. So,
That's good.
Kung ikaw, BFF, ang mga kausap mo is mga fashionistas. Ha? Chris, ang mga ano niyan, ang mga kausap niyan is yung mga what you call this in English, yung mga terpsichorean sa talent, sa mga dancinistas.
that's
Mga dancinistas, okay, yeah, like the Manila Club, special mention. The Manila
That's
Club,
yeah,
ni
that's good to know, Chris.
Osorio,
That's good
ni,
to know. Yung choreographer, ganun, oo. That's good to know. So one day, I should know, we should dance together.
bakit hindi?
Oo, may alam din ako sa ballroom, you know. So this is one of my talent that that everyone knows about it.
yeah, unfortunately, that's one of the areas na nagsuffer because of this COVID-19 pandemic, yung yung mga dancing clubs,
Yeah,
restaurants.
oo.
So
Suffer talaga, oo.
very,
Marami.
very, it's very sad na
It's very
nangyari
sad,
yan.
yes. Oo.
So, and of course, the travel industry also took a really big hit. Huh? So, siguro ang itanong natin kay Chris ngayon is, but anyway, na discuss na ba natin, Chris, how you actually started your own travel agency, travel business?
I've been in the travel industry for like 18 years now. I did actually study my course in travel and tourism in 2001, 2002. Hence, that's what paved the way for me to get into the travel industry. At the time, I actually partnered and started Megastar Travel. I don't know if you've heard of that. Megastar Travel in Springville. And then after that, I went, of course, and worked with another travel agency, which is Philippine Tours. I managed to join for 14 years, and
Yep, kay Tita Gigi. Okay, okay. That's right.
ang ating napakalabli na Ate Gigi Calo. And
Mm.
of course, I mean, he was a very good friend, and she was a very good mentor, a good business person, well-respected person in the community. I was openly, I was very open with her that eventually I will put up my own travel agency. And
But
in 2017, I started my travel solution.
okay, you made the big leap, huh? That's, so was it
Yes.
very hard for you to set up your own agency? That tell us about what sort of accreditations, training that you have to undergo, uh,
Mhm.
also financing. Did you have to have a lot of financing to start the ball rolling?
Yeah, I mean, like other businesses, starting, I mean, there is always roadblocks. Let's acknowledge that. In terms of accreditations, yes, there is. But having been in the industry for 18 years, I am well trained with the avenues where to go. It was quite easier for me, like an advantage of being in the industry for 18 years, knowing a lot of contacts from the airlines, wholesalers, and so on and so forth. In terms of accreditation, travel agents are urged to be a member of the Australian Federation of Travel Agents, or ATAS, which we are a member of, and of course IATA, which stands for International Air Transportation Association, which again we are a member of as well. So finances, yeah, I mean, those are the roadblocks, but like other businesses, before you enter into a venture, you be very well prepared before doing so. Capitalization is vital, right? Of course, having a strong office is vital. Um, and then you work your market from there.
Oh, that's good. That's good. So, financing wise, did you have to put in a lot of, like financing to set up your business?
It's mainly putting up the office. I mean, I'm building the office. Kasi, of course, you must have a venue for your office. I mean, like other businesses. And starting that off, that's where most of your capital will go, like renovating your office, buying equipment, and so on and so forth. And of course, you have to do a lot of subscription, especially in this industry, the travel industry. I mean, you have to pay memberships, to be accredited and so on and so forth.
How did you Chris? How did you come up na to choose the travel agency instead of venturing other business?
It was my forte. I mean, it's not that I am not comfortable going out of my comfort zone, but I thought it is what I'm good at doing,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm very good at dealing with people. I
Yeah.
built good relationship and rapport, and I have always outreach and build bridges and build network from that. So why not make use of it?
I thought kasi you came up with the idea sa travel agency kasi you love traveling. You love,
And of course, it's my passion. It is my passion.
Everyone loves
Uh,
traveling. You know,
Yeah.
Before ang sabi ko, I actually asked myself a question, should I get into psychology, which I am good at doing as well, my
Yes,
profession, but
yes.
but I just realized then that I'm actually using that in a mental and emotional capacity with what I'm doing, dealing with the market anyway. So I
Yeah,
thought,
super advantage. Yes.
stick with your passion is to told people out there who would say stick with what you're good at doing
Mhm.
with your passion, because no matter how tiring things are, if it's your passion and you love what you do, you never get
That's true, that's true.
that's
Kahit na ano, like, kahit na anong mangyari pag, like, it's like in a puzzle. Like, kahit na anong mangyari ano-ano man yung puzzle na hindi na ano, if
yeah,
anything wrong, maano mo pa rin siya. You can still
yes,
put back into
yeah,
pieces pa rin kasi it's your passion
absolutely.
talaga.
yeah.
Oo.
And yeah, talking of love for travel, there is this one guy who loves traveling, and that's why we're all in this difficult pandemic at the moment. Mr. COVID-19 also loves traveling, and
Yeah,
We're,
oo.
we're like, yeah, government,
everywhere. Yes.
that's
So
The
right.
let's
whole the whole world talaga
the whole
tinravel niya,
world.
grabe,
Yes,
sobra.
We want to travel
Oo.
everywhere, and that's why human beings have to be isolated and quarantined. So,
Mm.
anyway, let's talk about what happened to the travel industry, Chris, during this COVID-19 lockdown pandemic. It's one of those industries that really took a hard hit during this pandemic, maybe next to the hospitality industry. So, first of all, when did you felt the impact of COVID-19 quarantine? Kasi nag-start yan March nagkaroon ng first signs of quarantine. So, what was the initial impact na feel ng travel industry as a whole?
yes. I mean, let me just go by stages. Actually, way back third week of January, I think around the 21st of January, when the World Health Organization declared COVID as a pandemic at that time,
Mm,
around the world industries were already, were panicking, on what the future could be or would be like. Um, in terms of the travel industry, we were deeply impacted. In case not everyone knows, right? In Australia let alone, there are actually 40,000 employees working at travel agencies. These
Wow.
are only pertaining to travel agencies who are actually member of the Australian Federation of Travel Agents. There are actually few travel agents out there who are not a member of the AFTA, of the federation, who also employs people. No?
Mm.
So hence in saying that there could be, I would say, around double that, around 80,000 people actually working in our industry, right?
in
That were
Australia.
impacted. Yeah. Our industry was so much deeply disrupted and affected. Actually, ang isa sa mga pinakauna na apektuhan
Okay.
kami. Yeah, and yeah, it was a big struggle, but at the end of the day, some are in hibernation, some are doing, so many things. But let's face the fact that our industry po kasi, ang transaction na namin, when pandemic happened, it's already up until January next year.
All
So
right.
so those are the things that we are tackling at the moment. From March up to now, are still pre-existing issues and problems that our industry is still dealing with. So,
Yep.
we're just asking consideration and cooperation, understanding of all people involved, including, of course, your market method.
That's right. So, and when the signs of flight cancellation started, I guess you were on the phone maybe like 20 hours a day, huh?
Yeah,
Yes,
oo.
How many of your clients were impacted
a
by the?
lot, a lot.
Okay, you're talking about thousands or?
there are thousands actually. Let me just impart let me just stress that I'm just speaking on behalf of my travel solution. No? I mean, way back March when the situation got worse, right? Our office was literally open 7 days a week. From March up until first week or second week yata ng ano ng May, we were open until midnight, 7 days a week.
That's
Why why we did that is because at that time the industry were under the notion that this pandemic would maybe last only for 6 months, but it did not. Right? There was an undervaluing, underestimate ng industry, but not only us, all industries pretty much. They were under the notion that it will only be there for 6 or even 8 months. Right? So hence, ang nangyari dyan, syempre, a lot of people are already pre-booked to travel around the world. From March, in fact, until January, as I have made mention. So nangyayari dyan, inaantay namin na ma-cancel yung mga booking para involuntary ika na. Because when the clients actually cancels it, then maapektuhan yung proseso because that is actually a voluntary cancellation. Whereas if the airline actually cancels, say for example, then we have that more ground and power for us to refund on behalf of our client.
Okay, okay.
So what I'm explaining is kasi maraming mga technicalities. Napakarami. And in fact, why our industry also is deeply impacted ika nga kasi of course, the travel agencies relies on commissions and rebates with travel partners, right? Now, what happened was, say for example, Kafred, you booked to live in December to live in May this year, right? So you paid in December. Now, because you paid in December, yung mga rebates namin, na-negotiate na namin with the airline. So that means at that time, may ibigay na sa amin. Right? Now, because your flight was canceled in May, obviously you did not travel, we have to return those rebates back to the airline suppliers.
Okay.
So just imagine the volume, the amount of money that we have to return back. Money that we already used to pay our overheads, money that we already used to pay our wages.
Of course, that
Wow.
that must have been really cost you a lot of sleepless nights, huh?
Oh yeah, it is. Pero I mean, me personally, Kafred, fashionista queen Miss Jo, right? What kept my leg on the ground is on three elements. Number one, I accepted on my right, I have accepted the situation.
Yeah.
What kept my leg firmly is my faith, and
Yeah.
on my left, I never expect.
Okay.
Yeah. But
Uh,
were you given any financial assistance sa government?
Yes, I mean, there were job keepers that were offered. I am personally getting my job keepers, but unfortunately, all of my staff are not getting their job keepers because I actually sponsored them. They're actually my siblings, mga kapatid ko, and they're on temporary resident visa for now.
Mm.
But I mean, I was very determined, so they are still my responsibility. Other than that, they are my siblings. So, I mean, as a responsible person, it is my duty of care, and because I promised myself that I will not close the business, we will be open all the way, which we were, right? So yeah, I have to I have to do alternative myself to fix that issue. Manage to. So
Yeah.
few sacrifices here and there, but it paid off.
That's true. That's true talaga. Hopefully international flight natin will be open next year.
Yeah,
So,
I mean,
we'll be back. Kasi I just came back from Sydney and then ano talaga, ang airport talaga, tahimik talaga.
yeah,
There's not a lot of people in the airport. So sabi ko, I was really sad na
yeah.
I really thought na, ganito ang nangyari sa airport natin, sa flight industry, sa
Yeah,
airline industry natin.
yeah, it
So,
is. But
even in Sydney, I was also surprised surprised kasi nga, syempre parang they were just, you know, they were okay, may freedom sila, ganito, ganon. But sa ano talaga din, when it comes to sa airline industry flights, ganon, walang tahimik talaga ang airport. So it's very sad sa mga sa nangyari.
Yeah, but furthermore to this discussion, pandemic affecting the travel industry,
Yeah.
please also allow me to explain to our listeners, other than speaking on behalf of my travel solution, it's actually a general statement. Let's just understand, cooperate, and consider the situation of every travel agent are at the moment. Because unang-una, hindi namin kontrolado po yung mga nangyayari. We know that I know for the fact that some people are still waiting for their refunds. Some people have got questions in relation to their travel funds, like mga nagka-credit, right? That's out of our hands at the moment. All travel agents, my travel solution as well, are doing our very best. And we're doing our very best to cater for everything. But unfortunately, the airlines are also inundated with the volume of cancellations that are happening now. So, hindi nagagawa yan straight away. So, say for example, ngayon, we are in the month of December, yung mga nagpa-process pa lang nila, right, are actually months of September, yung mga iba August. In fact, up to now, yung mga Cebu Pacific natin, right, or even Qantas, yung mga iba nakapending pa because they are inundated with the volume of cancellations na mga ginagawa at the moment. And also, one thing that people has to consider is because of the lockdown, there were limited manpower. So there were so many factors that affected the process. So, of course, people don't understand that until someone explains it, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
syempre, mga tao frustrated na rin, and they don't know their stance. So, in our case, what we do, we always call our clients and we advise them the status. So, alam nila that they know their stance straight away.
So before we move on to the next topic, Chris, I've got a burning question. Huh?
Yes.
So if, let's say, for example, someone, when he booked for his trip way back in December 2019, he took a travel an insurance to cover his trip or her trip for whatever happened, cancellation like that. Will the insurance cover circumstances like this? Na-cancel yung flight because of natural, we can consider this as force majeure. Huh?
Yes.
Cover ba ng insurance yun? And they will be paid back?
First and foremost, I would highly recommend that that person, in case they are affected as per your question, to contact their insurance company. As per my personal and professional understanding, if they purchase their ticket before the pandemic or declaration of the pandemic, then it is one thing that they may ask their insurer. Right?
I see.
Yes, because we all know that this is an unprecedented event that just happened straight away, right? Meron pong clause yan. I had an experience where clients paid with their credit card, right? Platinum credit card. Now, they purchased their ticket way back September,
Yep.
right? Now, the declaration of the pandemic was in January. So I actually coached them on what to do and what to ask, and then urged and asked them to report to me kung anong sasabihin ng insurance company nila.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when I pass on, yung questions that they will ask their insurer, right? That because they purchased in September before the pandemic declaration in January, right? I told them to be very vindictive and forceful, and they did. And guess what? They were covered.
Oh, good.
But yeah, but I cannot speak on behalf of everything, all scenarios. So I would
Okay.
highly recommend that it's always about the approach. It's all about how you draw that question.
Yeah, I know, because
It's all about asking the technicalities. So
yes.
yung kapag natin, if you have any further questions or may dilemma ka, you can bring us po and we're most happy to guide you.
Yeah, I know. There's no hard and fast answers to this pandemic because this is this is the first time. Well, this is the first time it happened in 100 years. So I think people who experienced this pandemic in the start of the 20th century are very few of them are alive now. So we've never experienced this. Our generation has never experienced this. But anyway, so BFF, let's move on to the future of travel industry.
Oo. So
Okay.
what does travel industry experts predict and how long will the recovery happen? So ano bang prediction ng travel
Yeah, um,
industry?
it's really hard. It's really hard to tell, no. But please also allow me. This is just my personal analysis and professional analysis of what's going on with the travel industry. Of course, my main source of this analysis is from webinars, from reading articles and developments from travel industry body, and at the same time from government authorities. So um, in the month of January until March, right, when COVID-19 vaccine has been rolled out in Australia and globally, right, what the Australian government may do, this is just my personal analysis, kasi ayaw kong pangunahan ng Australian government, or ng APTA kasi wala pa kung declaration or anything, no? So
Yeah.
this is just my personal analysis. Kapag na-roll out na po yung vaccine at the given period, that does not mean na international travel or international border natin will be open, right? What the Australian government will therefore do in the next couple of months or 3 months, they will analyze the effect of the vaccine globally, and then they may effectively implement the travel bubble that you heard before, right? That travel bubble will be between Australia and say London. Well,
Yeah.
where that country and its citizens has already been vaccinated,
Mhm.
right? So, for them to travel into Australia in the event of that happen, as part of their ticket is a proof that they already had their vaccine done,
Wow.
right? And of course, for Australians to exit Australia to travel to London on that given travel bubble, it may be made mandatory. It may be, right? For us to when we exit, be part of our ticket as well to have that COVID certificate vaccine handy and presented at the airport upon check-in,
Mhm.
right? That's number one. Number two, I think what the Australian government is trying to do, if the vaccine is effective, then maybe around June, July, August, who knows, 30% capacity, right? Or 30% of travel capacity will be open to Australia and Australians to travel, vice versa to the given country, and that will go in stages. Ang benchmark nila is by December 2021 is 100%, which personally, again, I find strategical,
Yeah.
right? Because we know that the Australian government has invested hundreds of billions of dollars to secure Australia and its citizens. Why waste all that? Diba? So I think it's a good strategical way ang
Yeah.
ginagawa nila.
Good. Good. So really, we just have to be really patient, huh? Patient. So
Patient na talaga.
yung mga makakati ang paa, medyo kamutin nyo na lang muna.
And
Ha?
you can I
Mag-daydream na lang muna, daydream.
say something po? Right?
Yep.
Given that opportunity to, let me just urge yung mga kababayan natin, right? As frustrated as we are, we wish to travel, to visit our family back home. I would urge everyone to support Australia and Australian tourism. Let's travel domestically muna.
Yes,
Let's
that's true. Totoo talaga yan.
put our money here because Australia need us.
Yeah, need us. So let's just support
Domestic.
Australia, travel domestic. Yes.
Correct.
You're right. Kasi ang daming ang laki na natulong ng Australian government sa atin 'di ba? So we are very lucky to be here, to be in this country kasi nga lahat binigay na sa atin. help, financial assistance, lahat-lahat na binigay sa atin. So, I think it is our time to give back to
Absolutely.
sa Australian government natin and to support yung mga small businesses na yung mga nandito sa atin ngayon instead of looking forward sa outside the country. So let's just muna support.
Tama.
So ganon. Yeah, and do you think kunyari when the time comes back na we're allowed to travel internationally, do you think the airfare would be tataas ba yung airfares natin o
Well, there were
how it will affect? Yes.
there were speculations before. On a professional note, on that given analysis, I would say ma-affect, um, on my right side, right, I think maapektuhan ang airfare if social distancing or is implemented inside the aircraft or it's not on 100% capacity,
Yeah.
right?
Actually, this is in my base, ma-experience yung, kagagaling ko lang kasi Sydney eh. So, actually, the effort talaga really affects. So, it's quite a bit expensive kasi nga, they, may social distancing talaga. So, they talaga yung sa middle, they don't allow to sit. So, meron talagang, kunyari, yung tatlong aisle. So, yung sa middle, sa gitna, wala talagang dapat na uupo.
Yeah. So certainly, with domestic and with international, those are the factors that will certainly affect the cost of airfare. Kasi number one, right? One airline company, would fly, but of course, the bottom line is it's a question of whether is it sustainable for them to do so, right? So, of course, they will have to pass on, right, the cost to the market or to the clients, right, to make it sustainable. So hence, in saying that, kung may limit in the capacity of the aircraft, then of course, maapektuhan ang airfare natin. But in the long run, if there is confidence that the vaccine has been rolled out later on, and with the travel bubble, especially with that given country where Australians are traveling, and those people, citizens are traveling into Australia, are vaccinated and no cases of COVID, then I don't think there will be restrictions in the capacity of the airline or of the aircraft.
Hopefully.
So let's hope that that is the case. And hence hindi tataas yung pamasahe, of course. The airlines the airlines actually made a review already that they have no intention, right? Because my question before it, will the airline actually increase the fare, to gain back their losses, ika nga, with the
Yeah,
pandemic?
we'll have to
They said
recover the losses.
they said no. As long as one time comes na sustainable naman and wala namang restrictions in terms of numbers, the capacity, then I think the airfares will be the same post pandemic.
BFF Joe, merong mas murang way of traveling pagka medyo mahal pa yung pamasahe, ha?
So,
I'll let you know. Ngayon ina-assemble ko na yung walis tingting at saka yung mahabang pole.
carpet, yung mahabang carpet
Oo.
natin.
Ini-improve ko pa na magkaroon ng business class. Ng business class walis tingting na yun.
Oo. Hindi ba
Maybe
pwede first class BFF? Buti ka pa nakakapag-travel ka everywhere. So, gusto kong malaman kung anong sikreto natin dyan.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I'll book you on the next flight of the walis tingting. Yeah, go ahead, Chris. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I think case that.
I'd like to show you. I'll keep talking, and I'd like to show our listeners and viewers a sample of your website para do sa mga hindi pa nakakadalaw sa iyong website. So just keep on talking with BFF Joe, and
On the other side of the news naman sa Philippines, so it was reported that Boracay accommodations are offering huge discounts even not to just to lure tourists back to the island. So, can you see that happening here in Australia, say Gold Coast and Sydney?
Unfortunately, I don't think so. Kasi, of course, ang nangyayari po kasi ngayon, um, every government has their own strategy in handling, the
Yeah.
situation, so on and so forth. So, yeah, unfortunately, I cannot speak on their behalf for now, right? But, who knows? It could be strategical in some ways, but who knows? But it's hard to say at the moment.
Yeah, I don't know about this, I don't know kasi si BFF ang nagkaroon nitong ano, eh, I don't know about this 50%. Ang laki naman, so hopefully we can get that. But I don't think so kasi nga due to sa ano, sa current situation natin, yung economy natin. So, I think every businesses are trying to get back to their yung mga losses nila. So, it might be a good stock market para sa kanila, but I'm not so sure about that. Like what you said, Chris. Yes.
Mhm.
Oo. So, ano?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of that, I can attest and I can guarantee that most suppliers, all our travel partners will certainly and aggressively release a lot of promotionals,
Mhm.
especially when the pandemic is over. I can attest and guarantee that.
Yeah, so how about sa ano, kasi 'di ba tawag nito, yung mga tour, cruise, yung mga cruise,
Yeah,
gano'n. So,
yeah, I mean,
matatagalan pa ba yun? Alin bang mas mauuna if ever man na kunyari back to
we
normal?
don't
So,
know. We don't
um,
really know. As I have said, it's really up to the government because all guidelines and handling procedures at the moment, ang may say dyan are government set. So
yeah,
they're the ones who implement and who and even give you the go signal. The actual fact, right? Even yung mga flights natin ngayon, yung mga flights natin ngayon are actually approved by governments, right? Say for example, at the moment, month of December, Philippine Airlines was only given a limited time to fly into Sydney and Melbourne. I think twice in Sydney and twice in Melbourne. Then
yeah, oo.
Airlines, who normally flies every day and has got 4 flights every day, were only given, I think, 6 flights in a month.
That's in a month, wow.
So, it's a very, very tricky situation because um, the government aviation body of the given authority, say Singapore, must
Yeah,
apply with the Federal Aviation Authority for approval.
I see, okay. Okay. May ano pa, may isang tanong, will
Yes.
budget airlines beat the major airlines in the fare struggle?
Not necessarily, although at the end of the day, I must say, na you know, clients must consider one the service and the inclusions, right? Of course, sometimes on budget carrier, what makes it budget is because when they advertise their fares, hindi kasama mga bagahe, hindi kasama mga
Uh,
pagkain, other
yeah,
costs.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
by the time you add all those, you can actually comparably get those price with a major carrier,
Mm-mm. So,
right?
okay, go ahead.
So I would say, the clients must analyze it properly before they
Yeah,
do. So in terms of pricing, of course, a budget carrier is always a budget carrier. And they're always cheaper, but you have to be very careful with what you book as well. Because the cheaper the fare, it will be non-refundable, a very restricted fare.
that's right.
And of
That's
course,
true.
the regulation is totally different in terms of dealing with a major carrier.
So I've heard something, how is it true ba na like now yung sa Philippine Airlines natin, like I've heard na yung airfare nila mahal daw ngayon. Sometimes yung mga economy they're paying yung mga business class gano'n, like 5,000. How is
Yeah,
it true?
I would definitely understand that because the flights that are flying at the moment, as they are mainly sweeper or repatriation flights. If I speak of sweeper repatriation flights, these are mainly a flight for people, say for example, Manila to Sydney and Melbourne,
Yeah,
are wanting to take the flight to come back. But generally, that's only for Australian citizens and residents. Tourists are not allowed,
okay.
right? Similarly, from Melbourne to Manila or Sydney to Manila,
Yeah,
um, um, yeah, again, only Filipino citizens are permitted to be on that flight. Australian Filipinos can as well, provided they're holding dual citizenship and they have applied for that special permit and must be approved, of course, by BFF.
Okay. Yeah, let's call on BFF. Where are you, BFF?
Yeah,
So
I'm back. I'm back. Chris, we would really love to invite you again here, maybe early next year, to update our Dabarkads and Kabarangay and BFFs on any development in the travel
yes.
industry. Huh? So, huwag kang magsasawa. This is your first time, but definitely this is your not your last time. So. Final farewell and greetings to your loyal clientele and BFFs, Chris, and any advice that you can give them.
Of
Take it
course,
away.
maraming salamat sa mga tagapakinig, Fred and fashionista queen, Mr. Rana Smith, for having me for the night. Of course, it is the first antenna point of antenna of my travel solution. We have been open since March up to now. We never closed our doors. We've always been open and determined to answer questions, to assist not only our clients but the general public, to assist you in any way we could in terms of your travel queries. And we will always be here towards the very end until this pandemic is out of our way. But for now, let us all keep safe, be happy, maligayang Pasko, and a blessed and safe 2021 for each and every one of us. God bless us all at mabuhay po.
Thank you
Yes.
very much, Chris. Talagang feel namin ang Pasko because of your greetings. Huh? So, all we're looking forward now is to spread our wings and
That's right.
go
Spread our
elsewhere
wings and fly.
and fly. Okay. Thank you very much, Chris. Have a lovely evening and
Salamat
have
po.
a Merry Christmas too and a Happy New Year. And we look forward to traveling with My Travel Solutions again.
Yes.
Thank you.
Definitely.
And invite ko po lahat, please also like or follow My Travel Solution Australia. Yan po yung aming Facebook page, right? Because we actually feed all updates in there as well, all the time. So, but if you are not content or getting the right answer, our number po is on the homepage as well. So either send us a message po, email us, or call us po anytime.
Thank
Okay.
you. Thank you, Chris. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Maraming
Okay.
salamat.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you, Chris.
Bye.
See you.
Mabuhay.
Bye-bye.